Hello, everybody. Today we'll be getting into the Adhyatma Upanishad. This one is translated by Dr. A. G. Krishna, warrior, and it is the eternal form of Brahman explained. So the Sanskrit of the Adhyatma, it's a Sanskrit. It has many verses. It has a immense amount of verses. But I am just going to put a few verses here and just explain their significance and how important it is within the cosmos and within geometry and spirituality in general. So, the beginning starts that Brahman is infinite and the universe is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite. Then, taking the infinitude of the infinite universe, it remains as the infinite Brahman alone. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Now, this ideology, this concept of divinity that Brahman is really explaining is that everything within the universe is one. Therefore, the infinitive of the infinitude is the universe, right? Therefore, the practice of your inner being is essential to what will happen to the outer sphere. So, how you feel in the inner spheres will directly relate to the peace in your outer spheres if you allow it. Right? So, it also goes in the cave of the body is eternally set the unborn. The earth is his body. Though moving within the earth knows him not. The eater is his body. Though moving within the water knows him not. The fire is his body, though moving within the fire knows him not. The air is his body, though moving within the air knows him not. The ether is his body, though moving within the ether knows him not. The mind is his body, though moving within the mind knows him not. The intellect in his body, though moving within the intellect knows him not. The ego in his body, though moving with ego, the ego knows him not. The mind stuff in his body, though moving within the mind stuff knows him not. The unmanifest in his body, though moving within the unmanifest, unmanifest knows him not. The imperishable in his body, though moving with the imperishable knows him not. The death in his body, though moving with death knows him not. He then is the inner self of all beings, sinless, heaven-born, luminous, the soul Narayana. Right? Now, this concept, this entire paragraph, right? It explains our conception within the cosmos, right? It explains that we are not everything that this universe has, right? This universe is immense and it has massive, massive, massive loops that tie back into each other, whether that be nature, physics, the cosmos, they all tie back into each other. What this is fully saying is you have only control over practically nothing. You are egoless and you are bound to nothing in the metaphysical world, right? None of this is yours. Everything that's happening is through the cosmos, whether that be through the ether, whether that be through the air in the body, the fire, the mind stuff, the ego, all this stuff, right? It is this process that Brahman wants us to know that you are not the creator, right? The creator is the creator. We are a duality of polarity, a polarity of good and evil. That is why we have the choice to become an enlightened being. That is the point of this journey, right? We aren't a celestial God, right? There's no duality for God because there is no good or bad. They are just the creator, right? Now, there is no prefix for God because the divinity can stride through all religions, right? Now, let's get into one of the verses, right? It starts off as rejecting conformity with the world, the body, and the Shastras, remove superimposition on the self, right? So this specific verse, this gets into the ideology of ego, possession, and things of that nature, right? Now, if you truly love something, the concept is you should be able to let it go. Now, the ideology behind this is if you love it, you can appreciate it for its nature. Now, if you're trying to possess something, that means you don't love it. That is your mind trying to control it. Now, when we use our ego and our sense of urges and like that response, it tends to take us away from our spiritual core, right? We are an electromagnetic field, right? So think of the poles of positivity and negativity, right? When we are using our ego to think that we are the ones controlling the cosmos, our energies are going this way. But when we understand the cosmos are within and everything is given to us and we are blessed, our energies go like this. So the next verse goes, whoever wins absoluteness while alive continues to be absolute even after death. Rooted in concentration, O sinless one, remain steadfast. So there is about 2 or 3 different ways that this can be interpreted, even more for sure. One of the ways is that understanding that awakening the pineal gland and attaining a consciousness higher than just survival will allow you to feel everlasting, right? Because you feel everlasting, it will allow you to be everlasting because you are absolute with just absolute. You are content with being absolute now, right? Therefore, when you do pass, you will continue to bring that absoluteness wherever you are remanifested within the cosmos, right? Another one is when it is time for rebirth, they will be rebirthed in a much more positive light, or who knows what rebirth would be next, right? But it is this ideology that the celestial being will happen to become enlightened in sense, right? Because everything is one. So next is crores of karmans accumulated in the beginnings of transmigratory life. Transmigratory life are dissolved by means of concentration. Then pure virtue begins to flourish, right? So tens of millions of acts accumulated in the beginning of transmigratory life, right? The beginning of before things start to become into fruition, flesh and life, right? So this ideology that things only become to flourish, right, when you are able to meditate, right? When you dissolve the means of concentration, right, you are able to meditate and allow listening and hearing and accept it, right? This is when it becomes pure virtue. And the next one is who has no conceit of I in regard to body and senses, nor the conceit of objects in regard to things other than them, who is free from those two conceits in regard to anything whatsoever, is liberated in life. As I mentioned before, the ego is not ours, right? Nothing in the cosmos is ours. The moment you become possessive is the moment you lose liberation. All right, everything we have and we are given is blessed because of the cosmos and the higher divine, whether that be Brahma, whether that be Jesus Christ, whether that be whatever religion you reside with, right? It is understanding the higher liberation. Now, when it says who has no conceit of I, it is dropping the narcissistic tendencies. And now when we see the concept of free of objects other than them, right, is it's a materialistic view, right, of objects. Even though objects are also vibrating at a frequency like us, they are also part of soul too, right? And it is accepting that we are free from these conceits. We are not a possession of anything. We are not a possession of people, items, or anything. We are just we are just beings, right, in the cosmos that we don't know. And the ultimate reality is we don't know. The next one is a plentitude of self-proven, pure, awake, and matchless. One only is non-dual Brahman. Here is plurality in all. Yes, everything in life has plurality. There's no singular thing. Everything can have nuance. It could have good, it could have bad, it could have light, it could have dark. And that is existence, right? And that is what is part of being pure and awake and matchless, is because you have the ability to choose, right? It is not a robotic system. We have the ability to choose. Choice is involved, right? Now, when it says the non-dual Brahman is the only when we talk about humans and us in the cosmos, we are a duality in any essence, whether it be feminine or masculine poles, or anger or happiness or whatever. We are duality, right? But Brahman is not duality. He is the creation. There is no duality. There is no if it's bad or good. There's no duality. There's just it's singular, right? There's no plurality at all. It's singular. Whose attitude is the same both when he is honored by the virtuous and when he is persecuted by the wicked, is liberated in life. Now, your reaction and how you live and how you perceive and your thought process is how liberation works, right? Now, if it takes something immense in your life to change the way you feel and act towards the universe, that's not liberation. If it takes something extremely bad to happen in order to get to liberation, that's also not liberation. Liberation comes from the sense of blissfulness and just being the same individual regardless of whatever terms come to you. Because in the cosmos, we don't know what is coming to us. So we can't pinpoint certain things, right? To create this liberation of feeling. So the idea of us feeling should always be in which we are feeling a sense of understanding and a sense of just neutralness, right? Turning off the left hemisphere of the brain, the logical side, and just allowing it to be what it is, because we truly don't know, right? So the next one we could look into is concentration. It's said to be the mind which, outgrowing the dualism between the meditator and meditation, gradually exclusively on the object of meditation, and is like a flame in a windless spot. Okay, guys, so in meditation, even Kundalini Yoga specifically, right? It is about staying still and allowing the chakras and your serpent to climb up the coil, right? It is the coiled serpent rising up, right? So when we talk of this concept of a flame in a windless spot, when we envision a flame in a windless spot, it is almost like it is immensely growing, but at the same time it is not moving. We see immense orange like color around the flame, but we are not seeing movement. When you see fire and you see it move, it moves around because of the air. But if there's no air around in the windless spot, it just stays naturally like a well-lit flame, right? So that is why concentrating on the mind is going to help you outgrow the dualism of the dark and the lights, right? And it helps you not just because the moments in life, it will help you be prepared to remain conscious and remain spiritual no matter what the nuances in life, and it will help you remain calm. So if you could think of a flame in a windless spot, think of that to be your chakra, and think of this to be your nature, right? Don't allow the wind to push you around. Just stay still, like a flame in a windless spot, and allow it to radiate, grow, and allow its orange aura of the sun to grow, right? Meditation is indeed the exclusive attention of the mind, fixed on the import, rendered indubitable through listening and thinking. Yes, so meditation ties into listening and thinking because of the spiritual nature of it. It's opening almost a fourth dimensional realm, right? When we open up the right hemisphere of the brain, we have this creative side. We are tying both sides of the hemisphere and the pineal together, right? So meditation is exclusively important for this, because we are trying to, when we are breathing in and trying to breathe out, we are trying to essentially align both hemispheres of the brain together to create this conscious ideology. This, not just the ideology, but this conscious state of mind. So the next verse that we're going to go over is, in this uniform and supreme reality, how can the agent of differences dwell? In deep sleep that is nothing but bliss, who has perceived difference? So this goes to say that when you dream, you don't control your dreams, and you wake up and it's over and it's still blissful, and that is similar to reality. And how can we say that reality and dreams are coincide, and how one can perceive one being different from the other, right? So the supreme reality between these two that Brahman is trying to get at is not that we can't tell the metaphysical difference between our dreams and our reality, right? Those are two different concepts. What he's trying to say is the peacefulness that you feel, the blissfulness while you sleep, is a similar feeling that you should feel in your day-to-day lives, because he doesn't want you to feel this anxiety filled life. He doesn't want you to feel this build up, but this is all through the cosmos, right? And your mindset and your ability to learn and grow will be dependent on your own journey, and the cosmos will help you in this journey, right? But you have to be willing to accept of help, and this is crucial to the part of awakening all chakras. That is ultimately what Brahman is trying to help the physical bodies that are here, that we could awaken all of our or even our crown chakra if done the right way, right? If done with the right intent. And that is extremely important, is things have to be done with the right intent, because if it is not done with the right intent, then things will not, there is always karma for things, right? So finally, it is Om that Brahman is infinite and the universe is infinite. The infinite precedes the infinite, then taking the infinitude of the universe, it remains that infinite Brahman alone. Om, let there be peace in me, let there be peace in my environment, let there be peace that the acts act on me, right? So that once again just sums up everything. It ties it in again. It states that Brahman is the universe and it is the creator of the cosmos and everything that we see, right? Therefore, we have to ask for there to be peace within ourselves, because if there is peace within ourselves, that will reflect our outside 3D physical world. That is ultimately what Brahman's trying to explain, and that is ultimately what all spirituality is trying to finalize at, right?